This is some of my story about how I changed my life mentally and physically through health and fitness, through some of the darker times in my life, hoping to give you guys a little bit of grace and a little bit of a sense of reflection in this video. If you're somebody who's 30, 40, or even 50, and you've been struggling to lose weight and keep it off for good, you've had a hard time making it stick, or even just get into better shape mentally and physically, I want to tell you something real. I haven't always looked or even feel like how I feel, and there's been a lot of trials and tribulations along the way that I've had to work through. So this is the story of how I went from a depressed, overworked, binge-eating bodybuilder to someone who's built a strong, lean, and sustainable life around health and fitness, and now helps others to do the same. I started lifting at 11 years old, and that was only because I was skinny. I was bullied here and there, kind of just like picked on in general for being the quiet and like insecure kid, if that makes sense. Like I saw myself like that at a young age, but I was inspired by my dad, who took care of himself, who worked out, who lifted weights, and it just showed in his overall presence about how that could change your life. And so I started working out at a young age, and then started to take it really seriously when I was like 13 to 14 years old. So at 14 to 15, I started to learn about workout splits, macros, what it takes to build muscle, because I was super skinny. And as I progressed up from 14 to 15 to 16, of course I was going to school and stuff, but I'd always get so many compliments about my physique, and people would always ask questions, which made me just think like, oh, teaching people about this kind of stuff would be super cool. And to make the shift happen wasn't anything crazy. I didn't fully change up like my training or my diet or nothing like that. I actually went through that phase of like trying new shit, like trying to do powerlifting and trying to run and just trying like a bunch of different stuff. I even went on the carnivore diet for like a long time just to kind of get a sense of feeling something new. But what I realized, I didn't need anything new. I just needed simplicity, and I needed to find what actually fit into my life, and making sure with whatever I did fit into my life made me happy and not stressed out. Because with working out, I kept feeling like all of it was just for something, like a competition or trying to look some certain way or to be an influencer or stuff like that. And it was never just something that I could fully show up to. And like when I used to work out way back in the day, that's all it was. It was just showing up to work out, to feel good. It was something I looked forward to. So I missed that feeling, and I was like, damn, I want that feeling back. It shouldn't just feel like it's this competition or like I need to perform a certain way. Of course, there's like stuff I need to do to build muscle and like stay as fit as I want to stay, but there is a place where I can start like pulling some stuff away to make sure that I put less stress on myself. And that's just what I started to do. Same with my diet too. It's not like I eat super clean all the time. I like to eat healthy in a good way, but I'm not like tracking my food daily. I'm not following a specific meal plan. I work out 3 to 4 times a week, actually 4 times a week. I eat probably around 180 to 200 grams of protein a day, and I'm like moderate with carbs, veggies, fruits. It's all pretty balanced. 4 meals a day, like nothing crazy. And like that helped me get back into the flow with feeling good with life again, because I had way too many things in place for certain reasons, and it was just like way too much. And I realized you can only have that for maybe 1 to 2 to maybe 3 things in your life. But if everything in your life is like that, it's just nuts. And of course, I prioritize sleep. Try to get 7 to 9 hours a night. I take simple supplements that help a bit, like vitamin C for my immune system, omega-3 for my joints, for my brain, and creatine monohydrate, but the most nutrition I get is out of my diet for the most part. I drink a good amount of water a day, a healthy amount. I try to get outside with my girlfriend for like a walk once a day. Like all of these are like basic things that help me get back into the flow, rather than being like, oh, I need to track all the food I eat in a day. Oh, no, I'm not doing enough. I need to work out 6 days a week for 2 hours each session like a pro bodybuilder. Oh, I should be waking up at 5 a.m. every day and working like 16 hours a day. So instead of that, it was like setting a baseline for myself, or at least like setting a new baseline for myself of like, what's healthy? Like, what can I balance? Like, what's a bare minimum? For example, on like days I don't feel like chipping away at 12 hours of desk work, my bare minimum is at least 8, you know what I mean? And I split it up throughout the day, so then that way I don't feel like shit. I think sometimes a lot of people get caught up in thinking that like they're robots, and I did that for such a long time. But by making these simple switches and being like, okay, well, I'm not going to compete again. Like, that's just not my thing. Even growing up, I never was into competing. Like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I trying to prove myself to other people? I already competed 5 times, and I got a pro natural bodybuilding card. Like, that's good enough. You know what I mean? It's so much stress and it's unhealthy anyways. I'm not going to continue on doing that. So why am I training like that? With powerlifting, it's like, I love lifting heavy, but after going through that, I'm like, it's not my thing, and running, not my thing. Like, I like to lift weights and do workouts that keep me healthy, that make me build muscle, stay lean, and like, that's it. 45 to 60 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. Like, I'm gold. I like to get outside and enjoy my life. And so what I did is I built my life around the new norms that I wanted to set as new norms, because I was hanging hanging on to old norms for way too long. And it took making like some decisions because I kept going back and forth with that stuff. So that's what truly made the shift. And a lot of people go in circles time and time again with like their health and fitness or like their goals. And you know, they get stuck because they keep repeating the same mistakes. But it's really good to like look at trends in your life, I find. Like if you keep running into the same place mentally, or you know, and then look at your routine, see what you're actually doing to help with that. And if there's things that are making it worse, it's like you have to realign yourself with some new goals. And that's what truly shifted my mind and also helped me shift my body. Like I'm in a much healthier place now than I ever was. I used to get way more stressed out, a lot more angry, and I'm not perfect, but I'm a lot better at like regulating myself now because I've made those changes, which has in return helped me improve my life. And I just want you guys to also make changes moving forward and like make them as like forever changes. Be like, kid, I see how this has been going. I'm making this change and sticking with it and not changing it because like it's gonna like be helpful and work for me. And those are like decisions that I have made for like bigger things in my life that have helped improve my life with where I'm at without doing anything drastic. You know what I mean? And that's what started to really change everything for me. I stopped looking at life as like this thing where you just go with the flow, and I started to look at life more like a system. And in order to work that system to the max, in order to make sure it runs efficiently, you need to have other little systems within that system to make sure that it just runs smoothly. But the best part is that you can create systems with your health and fitness, with your finances, and also your love life to make sure that things go a little bit smoother. And I put systems and things in place to help me change my actions along the way to make things a lot easier for me so I could show up as my best self, because I was not before. And I did that to make sure that I never went back to the place I was in 2022 to 2023, because that place sucked, and being in that place made me never want to get to that place ever again. And sometimes in order to change, you need big change. You have to change your ways along the way. And sometimes it can be hard to sit down and do that, but trust me when I tell you this, it feels so much better to make those changes because it actually motivates you. It makes you feel a lot more free and happier because you feel like you have this new path to go along, and you literally do. And it's going to be a lot less stressful. So like it just only benefits your life. And the goal isn't to be perfect. It's just to build something that's real and sustainable for yourself. So then that way you can live your best life. So if you've been stuck and you've been trying to lose weight, or you've had a few things off track and you're just trying to find your way to live a better life, that's what this channel is for. I've been there myself, and I'm still working through things myself. You're not alone. And this channel is for people who want long-term answers, not short-term hype. So if you're ready to change mentally and physically, hit the subscribe button and let me walk you through everything that actually works for you in your life with your health and fitness and just life in general. Let me know down below in the comments if you've been going through a bit of a struggle yourself, and we can talk about it as well. And if you ever want actual help with your health and fitness, you know where to find me at Nick Wild Aesthetics on Instagram. Just DM me the word transform and I'll reach out to you. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate you guys a lot. I'll be dropping these YouTube videos every single week on Mondays, I'm pretty sure. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe, follow along, because I'll be posting info just like this along the way to make sure that you're living your best life. Talk to you soon. Much love and peace out.